In the world, there is one divine truth. Kinger is the goat. Because of this renowned fact, a couple of days ago I decided to make a miniature Kinger figure. But after making it, I realized two things. Firstly, since I made his eyes face opposite directions, it's hard to imagine him focusing on a task requiring the use of his hands. This meant that it would be very hard for me to incorporate model hands into the figure, something that I wanted to achieve. Secondly, since the final product ended up looking pretty good, I decided I was going to make a second one, but record the making of it. So, today, I will be making a Kinger figure. The first thing I did is make a model of Kinger's body in Tinkercad, and I printed it out on my Centauri Carbon. Alrighty, so that printed out pretty well. First thing I'm going to go ahead and do is glue together those pieces, if I can open the bottle. Making it pretty hard for myself to do fake live narration. Yep, there we go. Just gonna hold those together, give it a second to dry. Yeah, feels pretty sturdy. Look at that. Nice. Alright, I would color my model using acrylic markers, but I have absolutely no brown, and my mixing skills are trash, so I'm going to be using acrylic paints. And I got my brown and my white. So I'm just going to put a little white there, majority white. And what you're about to witness is me horribly failing at getting the right amount of brown to come out of the tube. And for my own dignity, I am going to speed this up a little bit. Eventually, I got the brilliant idea to actually succeed, and I took a little brown using my paintbrush. I'm gonna mix that together. Nice. And we have our beautiful wood brown. So we're gonna go ahead and apply that to the top of my Kinger model. Alright. That looks nice. I'm pretty happy with how the color and consistency turned out with that. Let me just get this out of the way for a second. Oop. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay. Alright, while that's drying, we're going to go ahead and work on the eyes. I have these two white acrylic balls from miscellaneous sources. So I'm going to take my blue acrylic marker, and I'm going to make a small iris first. Alright, we're going to give that a second to dry. Alright, now I'm going to take the black and put a little dot in there for the pupil. Yeah, looks pretty good. Almost looks like a real eye, actually. Look at that. Oh, creepy. Alright, so we're going to let that dry, and we're going to do the same thing with the other eye. Alright, so both eyes are officially done. Our model should have dry paint by now. So for each of them, I'm just going to put a little dollop of glue in the sockets that I reserve for the eyes. Just gonna put it right there. Oh. Alright, gonna let that dry. Gonna take the other one, we're gonna do the same thing. Alright, looks fabulous. Splendid. Wonderfully wonderful. So now we can go ahead and get started on his robe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the purple felt around Kinger to get a sense of where I should cut it to make the right robe shape. This process took embarrassingly long. It ended up taking about like 10 minutes. So I'm just going to speed through this. Alright. Just going to do one more test really quickly. I'm going to secure it in place with super glue. If I did correctly, the back of his robe should be centered with the back of his head. And we're going to check if it is. And it isn't. Yep, and it very much isn't. And I'm fixing that in this quick speed through here. But I didn't really keep that in. Alright, so now we can get to work on his ermine. Since it's all dotted, I'm going to use my black acrylic marker to put a lot of dots all over it. Alright, so now I'm going to use the super glue to rim the outside of the purple robe. Alright. And with that, I think the full part of Kinger's body should be officially done. Just gonna add a few more dots, actually. Yep. So yeah, Kinger's body is now done. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, I will be making his hands and a couple of poses and things to put his hands on, and as well as his bucket hat and maybe his big tops hat, but that will probably come in a part 2. So be on the lookout for that. Bye bye.